Hello and welcome to episode 223 of the 77 Club. Harry, start with the socials.
The Wall 77 Club on Facebook and Instagram, at 77 Club Podcast on Twitter. Please rate us 5 stars if you would like on Spotify and iTunes.
Jack Williams is here.
Hi, everybody.
And for a full episode, we are honoured to have Tom Rouse.
Back by unpopular demand.
Well, he's replacing Bayliss, who's genuinely gone skiing again. He's just one of those posh people, the kind that like has a jacket with no arms on it. That's the kind of posh guy that he is. But no, we miss him dearly, of course. Harry, I mean, the big talking point was actually before the game at the weekend, because you were saying, lads, I've got a feeling that Diego Costa's going to score today. We laughed continuously for minutes on that having not happened yet. And when he did, we were looking at each other screaming, oh my God, a bet I've put on has come in.
Well, yeah, but the only problem we have got, I didn't mention it on this podcast, did I? So does it count? I don't know.
No.
That's true.
But yeah, I think he was 17-2. Just got that feeling, didn't we, in the car on the way up? I thought, go on, then I'll whack a tenner on. And obviously an absolutely wonderful finish that he definitely meant. Won the bet, so amazing, wasn't it? And Ragsy was gutted. Our mate Ragsy had come with us because he was like, yeah, I can feel that as well, but he didn't have the bollocks to put the bet on with me, so he regretted that.
Jack, a brilliant win. I mean, Brentford weren't exactly in form. I think it's 3 in a row that they've lost now. However, they all count. They're all important, and it's a huge 3 points in terms of the season.
Yeah, I mean, compare this as well with the result last week. And, these 2 home wins are just really crucial now. I think we are definitely very, very close. Not quite safe yet. I think we could well be pretty much safe, I think, by the end of this weekend if we go and get a result at Leicester. But, 2 big home performances, 2 big clean sheets. And the thing that really impressed me, obviously, number one is the fact that we've done it without Neves, who's been, by far our best player. We've changed the formation and it's really worked. And the thing that's really impressed me, I think, in both games is we've really limited the opportunities that the opposition's had. And that can't be by mistake, really, because you think about it. I know Brentford hit the bar, quite late on. But apart from that, and across the Chelsea game as well, how many real clear-cut chances did the opposition have? And you compare that to how it's been for the rest of the season. That's a really sort of a positive sign, I think, from these last 2 games where we've gone a little bit backs against the wall. Absolutely shambolic defensive display, particularly in the last home game against Leeds. And we really have, come into our own and sorted it out, really. So, shouts out to the defence. Shout out to people like Toti Gomez, who's come in, not everyone's first choice because we prefer more of me personally. And I think a lot of Wolves fans prefer the more exciting attacking options that we've got, down that side. But Cat has come in and not really done very much wrong and made us look a bit more solid at the back. So, yeah, really pleased. We've come into it at the time when we really needed to because we were risking getting dragged back into it with dropping points to the teams around us. And now I think, those 2 home games, 2 wins, 2 clean sheets without Neves, you can't ask for more, can you really? And I think we are in a good position now and we'll be comfortably safe, I think.
Tom, with Diego Costa, I know Wolves fans, we can get very, very excited when small things happen, like scoring a goal, especially when we're not used to it. Lots of people are saying now that he should be tied down to a longer contract, maybe offered a 1-year extension. We've seen glimpses in the last couple of weeks where he said he's made the difference, his hold-up play has been good, he's really contributed to the team. Do you think that games like this, where I know we'll ask the question about man of the match later, but I think we'll probably all agree that he wasn't far off man of the match if he wasn't for some people. Do you think that people saying that he should still be here next season have got a point now?
Absolutely. I think if we think about the squad next season and assume that Moutinho will leave, we need that sort of elder statesman, somebody who's been there and done it and won competitions and can mentor a young striker like Fabio Silva, who we assume will come back. I think he'd be. I think he's notorious for being a bit of a shithouse. But if he's in your team and he's in your squad, he seems to be a really good influence on lots of the players. He's been credited as sort of improving the atmosphere in the training ground and things like that, which is. You can't put a price on that. We haven't paid anything for him. I don't know what his wages are like. I imagine they're quite generous. And I think for another season, now he is up to full speed. I think that's what's been the problem for 6 months, is that he's had such a long time out of the game that it's taken him all this time to get going. But by all accounts, he's training really well. The last 2 games, he's been incredible. There was a moment as well because of where I sit, I can see a lot of what happens on the bench. And there was a point about 60 minutes into the game when you could tell Lopetegui had asked him, "Are you okay to carry on?" And he was desperate to carry on. He felt like that he could get another goal. And that's it now. He's contributing on the pitch as well. He's keeping Jimenez well away from the starting 11. And I think that he impacts games more than the other strikers that we've got available to us at the moment. And I'd be happy to have him for another season, definitely.
Roberto in the comments is saying, "Blimey, Big Tom making a Costa-esque comeback." I don't think you look as old though, Tom.
Well, I'm not far off. He's only a couple of years older than me.
That's true, but he looks about 20 years older than he is. Harry, would you second that? I mean, you've been talking about him quite positively over the last couple of weeks, maybe even the last couple of months.
Yeah, but up until recently, no, let's be honest, he's been playing like he's got gout, hasn't he? So he's definitely improved recently, and I think it's took him a while to get his fitness. He still don't look 100%, does he? But what he has got is he just works his socks off, doesn't he? You can tell he cares, and the passion in his celebration was incredible, although it was a bit fortunate. And there was some moves. That one, I think it was when Cunha had a chance, and there was a couple of back heels in there in the build-up, and he was involved heavily in that. The one where he had the left-footed shot where he tried to go to the far corner, that was a good little move that he was involved with. So, yeah, brilliant performance from him. And he's got to keep it up, hasn't he? Because I know Raul's struggling to get back in. And he's just a player who, when he plays for you, you love him, don't you? That's why the Chelsea fans still adore him. But when he's an opposition player, you don't really like him, do you? But, yeah, fair play to him. I think the talk of him staying on next season's a bit reactionary, isn't it? It's a bit like, come on. Like, we're excited he's got his goal. But he's getting on a bit. Big wages. I don't think he'll be here next season. And I think... Go on, Tom.
Do you not think that he'd be, 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the end of games or cup games, a bit of depth in the squad and, experience and a little bit of quality? Not the same as what we've got, but, he's been a top Premier League striker fairly recently. He's not too old either.
But is he willing to have a bit of a wage cut? So I'm assuming he's on really big wages, and is it worth paying him that much money to stick
There's
around?
rumours of 70 grand a week.
See, that's a lot in it, just for 10 minutes at the end of games.
That is true, yeah.
But just another thing I want to say, sorry, just to go off that a little bit. I said, didn't I, about the consistency of playing the same team. And I know Sarabia came in for Podence, but how nice was it to have 2 games in a row with the same formation, pretty much the same team, and it showed, didn't it, in the performance as well. Everyone knew what they were doing.
It did. You've been calling for that for quite a while, really, and so has a lot of Wolves fans. And back-to-back home wins with pretty much the same team in the same formation, and it has really helped. On Costa, I think, I agree, it is a little bit reactionary because we've been laughing about how he's been off the pace or just can't seem to. He could play all day and not score for previous parts of the season, but like Tom said, at the moment he is our best strike option by a mile. So we can't go giving them away because I think we've said even in the games when we were, even. Back to the end of last year when we were comparing him to Jimenez, I think he offers more than Jimenez. Is more consistent than Jimenez has been. I think it's more likely that Jimenez will move on. I know there were some people saying that he's changed his location to USA on Twitter, haven't they? So they're kind of predicting already that he might be going to the MLS, which I don't think it'd be a bad move for him really, particularly if it's somewhere on the Mexican border. I reckon that would pull in quite a crowd, but I don't think we have the luxury yet of being able to ship off, both Jimenez and Costa in the same season, unless we really we're going to bring in 1 or 2, new ones, which I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. Shout out to Cunha as well, though. I think over the last 2 games, and he needs someone that I think they're playing up there, playing with him, or is playing in front of him, and it's helped, and he's had some really good play and some really good moments. We played some good football, man. The Brentford game, particularly first half, I think we played some really really nice stuff, and that's a promising sign as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Harry, you mentioned it, didn't you? The chance with the flicks and the back heels that actually pulled off, and then you could probably say he maybe should be doing better. I mean, the angle was tight there, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was, but it's just good to see. And I think we've got to get on to the elephant in the room, and I don't want to talk about bloody controversial decisions again, but I don't know about you lot. I think it was a penalty on Totti.
It's a penalty. It's a red card for me.
I don't know about a red card, but it's definitely a penalty.
So at the time, I was standing up saying definitely 100%. It looked like a penalty in real time. But then once you watch it back again from different angles, Totti goes down ever so slightly too early, just before the contact. And that, I mean, I assume that's what they looked for. I don't think the referee on the field saw that, but I think that's what VAR probably saw, unfortunately. And maybe it was the right decision. But, I mean, it's sour grapes, and when you've won the game 2-0, it doesn't really matter. It's not one of those ones that have cost us points.
I think first viewing, I thought definitely. When the ref blew, I thought, yeah, he's given that straight away.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that he was, going the other way with it. I thought straight away, and I agree. Watching it back on the replays, there's a little bit of doubt. However, I think again it would have been given as a foul if it was anywhere else on the pitch. But it's this higher threshold for penalties. Yeah. And the thing that I really think is happening now, and I think it's happening not just for us and across the whole league, is that the refs are scared to actually make a big decision like that on the pitch, and they think, I will just leave it to VAR. And then VAR are scared to overturn the on-field decision too much. So you're in this situation where neither of them are actually going to stand up and take responsibility and actually make the decision. And I think what's happening here is this is why things are being let go. It's because the ref's too nervous about making the call in the first place, and VAR are just nervous about overturning too many calls because there's been complaints about that in the past. And all that's happening is we brought in this video stuff and we're having worse refereeing than we were before. And it's just ridiculous, really. They need to sort it out, but I think it is becoming a problem again. But it's just someone needs to take responsibility.
Did anyone else think the length of time that was taken to actually do the check was way too short? I mean, I don't know how it could have been done properly. If they looked at it, it couldn't have looked at it more than once. And why the referee isn't going over to the monitor to check it? Because if you're going to pussy out of a decision, send them to the monitor.
I didn't think it was that close. It wasn't one of those ones where was there contact or anything? There was definitely contact, but it was the timing of it, and you could see clearly from one or two viewings that Totti went down slightly too early. And that I do agree that it was a very short time that they looked at it for. But I don't think it was one of those ones that the referee had to go and check, and that prolongs the game. And we don't want to see that. Personally, that was probably VAR working properly. I hate it. I can't stand it, but that was probably how it is supposed to work.
Let's look at it this way then, Tom. If it had been on any other area of the pitch, do you think it'd be a free kick?
Yeah, well, so this was something I was going to say about Jack's point. Is because if you've ever watched games from the 70s and the 60s, there were indirect free kicks given in the penalty area for things like that, which I assume is still a rule. Somebody can correct me if that's not the case. But that doesn't happen anymore. If it's a foul in the box, it's a penalty, regardless of how severe the foul was. But definitely in the past, they used to have 10 men on the line and have a little indirect free kick from 10 yards out. It doesn't happen anymore.
Bring it back. Do you want to bring back?
Yeah, absolutely. Bring back chaos.
Anything else you want to bring back? Steam engines?
Yes, referee should only wear black shirts.
Nothing on the bottom. It's just hang around. It's not the only
like Winnie the Pooh.
Tom, I heard a certain Dave Edwards agree with you. I saw the clip of him saying that Totti went down too early.
Well, actually, that's where I got my point from. But
was it? But when I heard that, I generally thought, Dave, you're a good commentator, but you're completely wrong this time. Sorry, Dave.
No, I disagree. I think at the time I thought it was nailed on penalty, but then
on Jack's point though, if there was no VAR and we were back pre-VAR, the referee blows and gives that all day of the week, every day. He just points that spot straight away.
Do we think that if the ref had given it, there would have been any chance it was overturned by VAR?
No.
So then we're in this like little no man's land, aren't we, for both decisions, where it's not actually helping making everything clear and obvious and clear cut. It's actually having a reverse effect.
I agree with Steve.
If it had been Rashford, it'd be a penalty. I think we're back to that. I mean, it does seem like we say it every week. If it was Liverpool, if it was Man United, if it was Man City, it's a penalty. And
it wasn't as bad as the one at Newcastle, was it? Let's be honest. That was ridiculous.
That was poor because that definitely should have been.
Sorry, just while we're on VAR, I didn't want to see the Alexander-Arnold handball for the build-up for the Leeds goal.
Oh yeah,
Tom's just tidying up.
Tom, sorry, you saw that. The pictures
if that's not one of the big six, they're not giving that goal. They've just let him literally handball it in the build-up and give it as a goal. But there's an example of why we keep saying top six get those decisions. But Hwang Ki-chan sealed it anyway. Imagine if it was 1-1, we'd be pointing at a penalty, going mad.
Right.
Well, the other big decision that they got wrong.
Two things. Tom, if you're going to clean up, mute.
Sorry.
Secondly, Nunes. unbelievable run, ball carrying into the box. We're seeing a player here that have been crying out for all season. It's just taken our captain to having to step aside for suspension to see it. Sorry, Tom, pick it up where we left off.
But my point was completely irrelevant. I'll pick up on what you've just said there. And something I texted to Harry on Saturday night was that I feel at the moment that Neves and Nunes are like Lampard and Gerrard for England. They're two fantastic players, and we've started to see that from Nunes now. We know that's Neves, but they're too similar in what they do, by which I mean they're deep-lying creative players. They don't play in the same way. Neves is more, long balls and through passes and things like that, whereas Nunes carries the ball. But you can't carry an 11 with two players like that in, much like England couldn't carry Gerrard and Lampard doing the same thing.
I agree with your point, but the thing is, we haven't seen Nunes play on the right while Neves has been in the team. He's switched out to right midfield since the João Gomez and Lamina partnership's been there. So if Neves has slotted in for João Gomez, I think he'd still shine out on the right because that run was like a winger's run, wasn't it? When he set
it was, yeah. It was. So, hopefully in the next few games we'll see them both playing together. But I wouldn't get used to it because I think one of them or both of them will be gone shortly.
Am I the only one a little bit suspicious that Nunes seems to be coming into form for the last 8 games of the season?
Ready for the moves
all the time. It's like a shop window effect, isn't it? I think that's in the back of my mind.
I prefer him on the right than on the left. I don't like it when he's left midfield. I prefer him on the right, definitely.
Agree. João Gomez, Harry.
Oh, superb. He's took his chance really well. I think he started the game against Leeds, didn't he, in the 4-2 loss? And I thought he did okay that day, but everyone was criticising him for letting Ayling go for that headed goal. Yeah. But outstanding. And we're going to get onto it in the Leicester preview, but I think his performances have been that good the last 2 games. I doubt we're going to see Neves against Leicester, but we'll get onto that in a bit. But he's been brilliant, and that midfield has been outstanding the last 2 games. And it's probably the midfield we're going to see next season as well. So it's really good to see. And like I said last week, who needs Neves? I'm joking. Don't
that's the title of the video. So let's do a man of the match. Starting with Jack.
It's got to be the obvious choice, isn't it? Really, I think you got to give it to Costa.
Tom?
I'm going to go left field because obviously Costa had a fantastic game, but just because of how solid he was, Totti Gomez I thought was brilliant at left back. It's really a solid defender, really maturing now into a proper Premier League defender.
Harry?
I will go with Costa, but I just want to give a shout out for, just because you've mentioned Totti already, I want to give a shout out for Kilman and Dawson. I mean, that tackle Dawson did on Tony in front of us when it's Sam's second half. I love things like that. Absolutely cleaned him out at the ball, but he was solid, Dawson. He kept a lot of their, he kept their forward lines quiet. And Kilman, captain's armband again, although he's not really a captain material, is he? But good performance from him as well. Didn't really do much wrong. And some great balls out to Adama as well. When Adama came on as sub. So, but Costa for me, got to give it.
Yeah. No, there's some good honorary mentions there. Rich is asking, can I ask the panel when was the last time Wolves were given a penalty? I'm thinking that is it Forest at home?
Oh yeah,
we had a couple. Didn't we, early on in the season? Was it Fulham? Did we get a penalty in that game?
We saved a penalty.
We saved a penalty.
There's a couple of games. Oh, Southampton. Sorry, there was 2 penalties that we won games 1-0, and there were penalties when they very early on. Southampton.
No, not West Ham, was it?
I think it's Forest at home.
I think you're right.
Before the World, just before the World Cup, maybe a couple of weeks. Something like that. So there you go. I hope that answers the question. Let's move on to flags we're going to talk about. There were lots of flags in the South Bank. I didn't really know what was going on.
It's that old gold thing, isn't it? That new...
It's old gold pack on Twitter. So 1,000 flags in the South Bank. But they're very, very annoyed at the moment because people took them home. So now there's no flags in the South Bank and we're able to do it again. This is why we can't have nice things. But
apparently there was no message for them not to take them home though. They just sort of left these flags and went, enjoy. They're for you to enjoy. Go on, enjoy them.
Leave them.
Previously in the past, when they've put flags out there, you could just take them home, couldn't you? So there is form for that. I remember, I think one of the years we went up, maybe it was under McCarthy. Everyone had a flag on their seat.
I've still got that.
Yeah. So
that's the
thing. So
was that against West Ham? That first home.
No, it was
Doncaster.
Doncaster, last game of the season.
at home. Yeah, when we was on the pitch, Sam, when you looked like Andy Keogh. Sam used to have hair like Andy Keogh.
No, that was QPR on the pitch. That was.
Right, it was
Yeah.
QPR.
Oh, was it QPR? Was it one of the
That's where we
four
actually
we
got
ran on?
promoted. Yeah.
Was it
So,
today?
stop
It's
seeing
been 9 years since the 6-4 in League One when I ran after Kevin McDonald on the pitch. If you look on the Express Star website, when Kevin McDonald scored, I'm literally right behind him, like a dog from the tongue out chasing him.
You're going to be getting a
But
letter from Wolves through in the week.
Yeah, if Wolves are listening,
Yeah,
you're a doppelganger.
Yeah, Harry's banned from yesteryear. Let's have a look at Leicester away. I mean, I know we keep saying it, huge games. It's just the way that the season seems to have panned out this year. Harry, it's not too bad now. It's not looking so bad. 7-point cushion. Leicester obviously need the points more than we do. We don't famously do great at King Power Stadium. It's not a must-win anymore, is it? I don't think there are any. I think 3 more points and we're safe, I would say.
Yeah, it's not a must-win because of the last 2 wins, but I think it's big pressure on Leicester next. They're right down there. I think they're only on 25 points, aren't they? Unless I've remembered that wrong. But big pressure on them. I think because all the pressure's on them and we're going to be going into it full of confidence, I'm confident with the fact that we might go there and win. I hope you don't. Oh, God, it's a big talking point. And I need to change the team. I don't. I wanted to keep the team. If he makes one change, maybe Rabia for Podence or whatever, like he did against Brentford, I don't mind. But he's got to keep the team as it is. Keep them going. Keep the confidence up. And obviously they've got some good players, haven't they, Leicester? But I really feel like we can go there and beat them. If we do, obviously that completely guarantees our safety. Well, not. I don't know if it does mathematically, but I think it does. And God, sending a team like Leicester down who are Premier League winners feels like a few years ago, but it's nearly 5-6 years ago now, isn't it? But yeah, big test because they'll be up for it, but a lot of pressure on them. But I think we can do it.
Jack, I know that the phrase "too good to go down" is always bandied around, and everyone thinks of that the West Ham side that got relegated with like Michael Carrick, Jermaine Defoe, all of those big players. Do you think Leicester would fit into that category with the calibre of player that they have, or is it because of that hangover from 7 years ago winning the Premier League that people think they're a bigger club than maybe they are?
No, I don't think at the start of the season they were necessarily a side that many people were tipping for relegation or being anywhere near, really. You look at some of the players they've still got now, like your Madisons, and you think that they should be doing better. It's just been a really, really poor season. Obviously, the Premier League is quite unforgiving. Got a new manager coming in, so, really to try and save them. Obviously, Dean Smith's there now, so that could add a little bit of, difference to it. But yeah, the pressure is on them, really. I think if we get a point on Saturday, that'll probably be enough. I mean, we'll still need to pick up a few points before the end of the season, but I think if we get a point, I can't see Leicester catching us. Can't see Southampton catching us anyway. And then it just leaves one more, really. So I think a point is not a bad result at all. This could have ended up being one of those games people were calling a must-win if we hadn't had the previous 2 results. It's definitely a must-win for Leicester. It's definitely a must-win for them. So that they've got to be looking at this as a game where they're going to take 3 points. But based on recent performances, yeah, I think we can go there. I think it's got draw written over it, to be honest with you. I think a draw is good for us. It doesn't really quite kill them off, even though they've got to win. But we'll see how it goes. But there's no reason why we shouldn't go there full of confidence, because really this is the game that we were looking at as being a really crucial game. Just 2 weeks ago, not even that. So, but yeah, I fancy our chances. Is Costa fit? Is the first question, because there were rumours going around that he might not be.
It's a good question. I haven't seen anything to suggest that he won't be. Tom, would you take a point? Is it edging close to safety, or are Leicester there for the taking?
I don't know. It's a difficult one because a point away from home in any situation is a good result. But the way that this season has gone, I can just see Leicester winning this game, getting up to 28 points and dragging Everton and Forest and West Ham right back into it. So there's I don't know, but I don't think they've got the same force up front than they did a couple of years ago. Vardy looks like he needs a Zimmer frame. Iheanacho looks okay, but I mean, they don't threaten as much as they did 2 years ago. I mean, don't forget they won the FA Cup 2 years ago as well, so they're no slouches really in recent. It's not been a very steady decline. It's been rapid this season. They've just, whether it's a hangover from their European exploits last season or something, like we've seen West Ham have struggled as well this year. But I don't know. I probably would take a point now, but I think we should. It feels like momentum is building with Wolves, and we should try and keep it up for this last little part of the season to start next season on a real, positive note. And with Lopetegui having a proper pre-season, bringing his own people in, could be the start of something really good. You've seen how great Villa have been under Emery. There's no reason why we couldn't now have that sort of run towards the end of the season and start next season in a positive way.
Harry, I've saved this one for you to open up the debate. Is should Ruben Neves go straight back into the starting lineup?
No, not at all. It'd be terrible. It would be so. If he does, I'll be annoyed as well.
Really?
I know he's our club
Will you
captain.
write a letter? Would you steal a flag?
I'll show my.
Play the pitch.
I'll be very angry and jump up and down on my sofa while I'm watching it. No, but it's just not good, is it? I mean, like we've mentioned, Gomez, Lamina, Nunes, they've been amazing. The true amazing performances. What message does it send out to the likes of Gomez if you just put Neves straight back in? The lad's been amazing. You can't bring him straight back in. Bring him on. If Neves comes on, makes a difference, gets the winner, plays well, then maybe start him the game after. But it might annoy Neves, but if he ain't even staying anyway, so there's no room for sentiment.
Let's say that we win on Saturday and we play well for every game for the rest of the season. Would you be happy at Ruben Neves not putting a wall shit on the pitch again because he's being kept out of the team? And then
I said last week I'm happy for him to go now.
No.
Oh, Harry, what's brought this on? You had a bad day.
Are you all right?
We'll talk about it.
He's going. And we've played well without him. We've shown, he's a great player.
You will with that kind of attitude.
I am convinced he is going. I think Nunes will go. I don't think Neves necessarily will.
It's called reverse psychology. Obviously, I want Neves to stay, but for this game, he shouldn't start. Come on, I think everyone agrees.
No, I think he should start.
Everyone agrees.
Yeah.
If he's in the side, Harry, for the next 7 games. That will take us to 55 points. Looking at the table now, if only 7 teams above us go into administration, we could be in Europe by the end of this.
Yes.
But do you think he could stay? Do you think it could spur him? Finishing as high as possible now, no relegation, a manager that he clearly gets on with, gave him his debut, and all of that stuff. Do you not think that maybe that there's a chance that he could stay?
We say this every time, like when we come 7th twice, when we got into the Europa League, when we were like on the verge of the top 4 under Bruno Lage, it was all if we get Europe. Yeah. But he was we remember him all crying at the end of last season. He was gone when but because other clubs got players in and that, it fell through. But I think this time, he's got to be looking at it. He's going. I don't see any way around it. I really don't.
Who's he going to go to then?
I don't know. I'm not.
So we said this on the podcast, and I think it. Like I said last time, I think it has to be Bayern Munich, and that's it.
Yeah.
If he wants to win,
I'd love him to stay.
If he wants to play in the Champions League, he'd probably go to United.
I'd love him to stay, but the last 2 games just proves to me that we can move on without him.
That's true.
Yeah,
with the players we got in, I'd love him to stay. He's a legend. In my eyes, he is.
I would argue that he's not quite a legend yet, and that he needs to. For our generation, he's been the best player we've ever seen. Yeah. But in the whole history of the club, you've got to win a trophy. You've got to be at that kind of level. Come on. So Richard Stearman and Neil Collins should be also up there.
Tom, you have a very short memory because we won the Asia Cup in 2019.
Oh, sorry, because he lifted it, didn't he?
See, but my legend might be a bit loose because I think Ebax Blake's a legend. So.
Well, people give standing ovations for people who've picked up a red card. So
So, Tom, is winning the Sherpa Van Trophy the level that you become a legend? That we say?
No, you've got to. You know what I mean? A major trophy, League Cup, FA Cup, or Premier League. He's got it, or a European trophy.
Steeple's not a legend then.
Well, that's the exceptions to the rules. You record goal scorer. But also lots of those goals were scored in League 2. League 1, so
Jesus Christ, we get cancelled as a podcast. Yeah. If you start saying Steve Wonder.
Those listening to the podcast, he's doing a fishing.
Tom, do you think if Neves, let's say, he doesn't leave and he stays here until he's 35 and retires, would he then be a legend even if we haven't won a trophy?
Yeah, I think, but by virtue of loyalty and he'd have God knows how many appearances for us. I think, but by virtue of that service, I think
Dave Edwards a legend.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, nailed on. he won the championship and League 1. No, I only want you. No, he's not a legend, not a club legend, no.
Oh, okay. Do you think you'll start?
Do you think he'll start? No, He should start, yeah, definitely. I think only because Joao Gomez is only, what's he, 21, something like that. So he's only had 3 starts, and 2 of them have been in the last 2 games because of Neves' injury and suspension. Sorry, and I think it would be a lot to ask of him to play 3 games, and what is a fairly important game against Leicester. If we win that, then it's done. I think you can't drop your club captain for what would be one of the most important games of the season if we win it.
I've had a full week off. He's had 2 great.
No, it's not. It's not the fatigue. He's obviously have fitter legs than Neves, but it's just the brains.
Big game. He's been outstanding in 2 massive games, and we've won both of them. And he's been outstanding. The pressure was on in both games, and he was brilliant. But you can't drop him.
Are we certain that if Neves did come into the team, that he'd come in for Gomez though?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, it could be Lemina.
I don't
know.
It's possible.
Lemina's. Yeah.
But
could be.
I don't know. But I think he'll come back in as well. I'm with Tom. I think he will come back in. He should come back in. He's club captain.
If he comes back in, Lopetegui's got tiny bollocks. He's got no cojones to stand up to someone the club really wants to keep. If he's the manager and he calls the shots and he gets Neves back in that team, I'll be so disappointed.
You're going to
put his foot down and tell him, say, look, you're the captain, you are our best player. But the reality is you got punished for getting too many yellow cards. You've had 2 guys banned, and the person who's come in is done really good. You're sitting this one out.
So you think it's symbolic? It's just that he won't start just to make a point, and then he'll be back in for the next game after. Is that
I don't mind if he comes on and he's amazing. Say if it's 1-1, he comes on, sets up the winner, then start him the game after. But it sends out a terrible message. Now Gomez has come in, been patient, scored the winner when he come on against Southampton. He's come into the team, done amazing.
That's 2 months ago.
Don't matter. He's been. I'm getting really annoyed about it. I really don't. I can tell. I'm going to get annoyed now.
Your phone's going to go flying across the room at 2:01 on Saturday.
I mean, Harry's written the subtitle for the podcast for me. If he does that, he's got tiny bollocks. Is going to be like the little. Hit me with a score prediction, Jack.
Score prediction 1-1.
Tom.
I don't know if it would be a copycat, but yes, 1-1.
Harry.
What was they smashed us at Molineux, didn't they? Was it 4-0?
4-0,
yeah. 4 shots on target.
I'll reverse it then. Yeah, 4-0 Wolves.
4-0 on the Wolves. Okay. I'm going to go different. I'm going to go 2-2. Let's get your latest betting odds and ticket news.
Can I ask a little question before we do that, Sam? Actually, and it's one that I'd have been scared to ask 2 weeks ago, and it is. Who do you want to get relegated? Not do you think will, but out of the teams who realistically still could, who would you like to go down?
I've actually got, before we get Harry's odds, I've actually got some odds on that. Just because Wolves are so long in getting relegated, 40-1 now. So the bookies think that's done and dusted. West Ham 12-1, Bournemouth 10-1, Leeds 13-4, Everton 6-5, Leicester 4-5, Forest 4-9, Southampton 1-10. I mean, is it going to stay how it is? It's probably not going to be far off. I'd love Everton to go down. I would love Everton to go down. Forest is a tricky one because although Morgan Gibbs-White has been getting absolute pelters from Forest fans this week, and it's been brilliant to see. We'll get less money if they go down. So there's an economic aspect to that. Would be quite funny though. Would be quite funny.
I think Forest is probably the team that I want to go down most now, just because of the way the season's gone out. And I know it sort of throws the book out the window. Is usually you'd be wanting teams, like I said, Everton would be funny. Leeds, you don't want them there either. But Forest have just, there's a stupid Twitter rivalry and the whole Gibbs-White thing, the League Cup game, the sendings off and stuff, and the disciplinary action, and the putting his fingers in the ears. It's just all sort of snowballed up. Where I think that most Wolves fans now would probably want Forest. I'll be quite happy if Southampton and Leicester put on a run of form and get out of it. And then, to be honest, and it just drags in 3 of the other 4 or 5. We might be speaking too soon here, so let's be careful not to have this clipped up and it comes back into the season.
I'm going to go a bit left field.
I think we'll be okay now.
I'm going to go a bit left field. Obviously, I think Forest and Leeds probably, and Everton because of the Cody thing. But for me, I want Bournemouth to go down just because their ground's crap.
It is.
And I don't like teams like that. I'm gutted Burnley have come back up just because I hate their ground. Like, Yeah, so obviously the dream would be probably Forest and Leeds / Everton.
Do we all agree, though, that
Cody
Southampton are
to come
done?
back.
I think
Southampton
Southampton
have
are
gone,
done. Yeah. They haven't won a game in ages, have they? Let's be
But
honest.
it is two places, really, realistically, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Paul's, but I don't think Villa are going down, Paul. I must say. Oh no, that's wrong comment.
He's done two. He's done two. He said Forest, Villa, and Everton.
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
Villa are flying.
Villa have got about 50 points now, haven't they? Or something?
Yeah,
I think they won the
top
league. Yeah. Who's talked to their fans there? Harry, you've got some betting news.
Yes. So it was very tight, wasn't it? The odds for Brentford. For this one, Leicester are 29-20, Wolves are 19-10, which is really close, isn't it? In odds, 9-4 for the draw. They are.
Yeah. They're at home and they need to win, though. That's the thing. The odds go a little bit skewy towards the end of the season against teams that need a result. So, there's probably some value there for Wolves, really, or the draw. But
some boost. James Maddison to get 2 shots on target is 6-1. It was 3-1. Maddison to score from outside the area is 8-1 as a boost. God, they really fancy Maddison, don't they? 1-1 draw is 5-1, which Rouse and Jack predicted. A 4-0 Wolves is 80-1. Which I predicted. 2-1 Wolves, 9-1. 4-1 Wolves, 66-1. So you can get some decent value on us if you want to back us to win.
Are you doing a watch along, Harry?
No.
No watch along. Jack,
because if I was doing a watch along and he started Neves, I'd smash my screen up, wouldn't I? So I better not.
It wouldn't be a very long watch along, would it? Be like, here's the team.
It'd be a throw along. Be throwing my laptop out the window.
All right, ticket news. So we're running out of games now. Another season is very nearly over. I'll go through the home games first, I think. So the home game against Crystal Palace, which is that Tuesday night game, tickets are on general sale for that, and there's still a few knocking around. The next home game after that, actually, is the Villa game, which is pretty much sold out, really. I think there might be 1 or 2 left, but that's on sale to members and basically already all gone. Be a big occasion, really. Could be against 2 form teams, because like we just said, they are absolutely flying, really. European chance. So that'll be fun. The away games, Leicester on Saturday is obviously sold out. There's still quite a few left for Brighton, actually, probably 100 or 200, which has gone down quite far down the points. I know it's quite a long trip, isn't it, really? And probably little to play for by then, but there are still some left. I think you need over 1,120 points to get a ticket for that at the moment. And the other bit of ticket information we've got is for the Man United game. So the Man United away game, which is, when is that? Don't know. It's a couple of weekends times coming up. That's just been released. And do I have the information for that? I do somewhere. Give me a sec.
Is it the 13th of May?
It is the 13th of May, Tom. Yes, you're right. 3 p.m. kickoff, Old Trafford. 3,097 tickets for that one. Currently on sale to the away season ticket holders. It starts with the points next Wednesday, starting with 1,190 points. And then I think is the only away game after that, Arsenal on the last day. Yeah. So games are running out. Last chance to get down this season.
See Neves.
Yeah.
Or not if Harry gets his wish. Perfect. That's your latest betting odds and ticket news. Some value in there. I do fancy that Maddison 2 shots on target, maybe as part of a bet builder. Harry has a quiz.
Yes, I do, and it's the exact same theme as last week, but lads, bloody hard this week. So you're going to be asking for clues. You're going to be begging me for clues.
We do well 1 week. 1 week in time, and this is what happens. It's going to make it mega hard.
Right, we'll do the same. Start with Sam, then to Ralph, then to Jack. If you don't know it, pass it on.
Right.
And see how you can do. So, I'll just remind you, last 3 clubs a former Wolves player has played for, so Wolves might necessarily not be in there. So, number 1, which former Wolves player, Sam, his last 3 clubs were, I can't even pronounce this last club, Tenerife, Chicago Fire, Jagiellonia, Bialystok.
Is that? I think I know it, but I'm not overly sure. But is it Thomas Frankowski?
Oh my god!
Is it actually? Yeah. Is it actually?
Yes. How have you got that?
The missing piece of the jigsaw.
The missing piece of the jigsaw. It was the Tenerife.
What a club to play for, by the way.
I had no idea of that, Sam. Fair play.
No.
I know.
That is ridiculous guess. I thought you'd be on that. I thought we'd be doing a 2-hour podcast just trying to get that. Round 2, Rouse. Oh, how do you pronounce this? Arbroath,
Arbroath.
Coden Beef, and Berwick Rangers.
So it's going to be. I reckon it's a Scottish player. Is it Colin Cameron?
Wow, so I go with that.
Sake,
Yeah,
lads.
well done. Well in. These are bloody hard. These would be hard.
That's
These
yeah.
are hard.
Are you sure? Because you just smashed that.
Definitely
Right.
hard, but
So,
yeah.
well done, lads. Jack, no pressure.
Oh, here we go. Always good, lads.
Here we go. Heart of Midlothian,
Hearts.
Hearts.
Right, yeah.
Rangers, Ayr United.
It's going to be Scottish again, isn't it? And I've even got popping out. I'm just thinking out loud. Someone like Kevin Kyle, maybe.
Oh, for fuck's
Ken.
No way.
Is it
Sure.
Kevin Kyle?
This is ridiculous. Yes, it's Kevin Kyle. I've tried to make the hardest quiz in the world. You've both done it straight away.
Because I know Kevin Kyle had a few clubs after he left us, but then he
Oh my
also
God.
went bankrupt, didn't he? He was working
Looking
on
at
a
his
cruise ship.
Wikipedia, he had about 15 clubs.
The really weird thing that threw me then was from going from Hearts to Rangers and then finishing your career, because it's normally like
Yeah, the other way around, yeah.
Rangers in either beginning or the middle. But yeah,
But fair play, lads. I don't know how you've got those three.
Great answer.
Jesus. Right, back round to Sam. Wolves, Leicester, Bolton.
Oh, I think I'm.
Leicester. Wolves, Leicester.
Can I just ask, Harry, was Leicester a permanent move or a loan?
It was a loan.
Oh, I know who it is.
Tom
Do you want to pass
knows.
it on, Sam?
Give him a chance.
Mark Davis.
Oh, for
I was
fuck's
going to say
sake.
Mark
Is
Davis.
it?
That's what I was
Is
gonna
it
say.
Mark Davis?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. He's with Bolton for ages. That's probably
He
his
was,
best club.
yeah.
Yeah, he was really good, wasn't he, for quite a long time?
He was. Yeah.
Right, round to
Handsome
round.
chap.
Bloody hell, lads. Considering I've tried to make this quite hard.
You do know that next week Harry's going to come back with the worst quiz ever,
Yeah.
the hardest thing ever. It'll be someone who played one game for us in 1985.
Name Major Frank Buckley's squad.
Bayliss would know that. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
Rouse,
yeah.
question 5. Cardiff, Accrington Stanley, and Derby
Who are they?
County. Derby County.
Cardiff, Accrington Stanley, then. What was the last one again?
Derby County.
Derby.
Oh, I've got him.
Oh, God. I want to say Kenny Miller because I know he played for Cardiff and Derby, but I don't think he played for Accrington Stanley, did he?
No. Round to Jack.
Oh, I don't know on this one, to be honest. Someone who went. It's a bit weird to go to Accrington Stanley then to Derby, isn't it? It must be someone who.
Well,
Like,
If you all get it
Are they
wrong,
at
I'll
Derby?
give you clues.
are they at Derby now?
I'm sure. I think they're still called Derby, yeah?
No, are they still at Derby now?
No, they're retired. They're retired.
Give us a clue.
Do you want a clue, Len? Yeah? For Wolves, he was a left back.
Lee Naylor.
Yes.
Oh, well
well
He
done.
played for Accrington Stanley.
I didn't know he went to
Yeah, he did.
Accrington.
His
Was
last
that
three
loan?
clubs:
Oh, wow.
Cardiff, Accrington, Derby. Like he played for Wolves about 4 clubs before those 3.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, he
wow.
went to Celtic, didn't he? And then he was at Cardiff for quite a long time.
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I think at one point Cardiff had Kennedy, Naylor, and Miller
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Well done. First clue, and you got it. I thought you'd take a bit longer on that one. So, who was that one?
That's
for?
Jack's go now, I think.
There's Jack's go.
Yeah.
Last 3 clubs then, Jack. Kings Lynn,
Bloody
Barrow, and Wroxham. Not Wrexham, Wroxham. With an O instead of an E.
Bloody
I've never heard of
hell.
them, I'll be honest.
So what? Kingsley and Barrow were they're like National League, aren't they? Kingsley must be a little bit lower. Someone who's gone up and down.
And I believe, I can't remember, I think I'm remembering this rightly, he's still playing at Wroxham, which must be a team that are like Sunday League or something.
See, I was thinking Mark Little then for a minute, but now you think it
No.
must be
Mark
quite
Little.
recent. Kingsley,
Lynn.
someone who's still
Are
playing.
they all, where's Kings Lynn's sort of Norwich sort of way, isn't it?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
is it? I thought it weren't far
Yeah.
from us. It's about an hour away from
No,
No, it's
absolutely
quite a
miles
trek.
away.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never heard of Wroxham.
Is it a McCarthy player, Harry?
No. Do you want me to give you
Does
the
it
era of when he played?
Yeah.
I believe it was under Kenny Jackett.
I don't know, James Henry.
No.
Pass.
Do you want me to start giving clues?
Yeah, give us a clue. Yeah.
He was a striker that travelled around a lot, had a lot of clubs.
Oh, Leon Clark.
No.
Oh,
Kenny Jackett era.
He had a lot of clubs before he came to us or after.
Like, throughout his career, he had a lot of clubs.
Danny Graham.
No, he's at
that ain't a
Oxford.
bad guess. That's sort of ilk, I'd say.
Adam
Oh,
Congo.
the bloke who's a wrestler. Holt.
Yes.
Grant Holt.
Grant Holt.
Well done. Good pick.
Good
Pick,
guess.
Tom.
Yes. He's still. I think he's 42, and that Wroxham. I
Bloody
don't know
hell.
where they are and what
Wow.
league they're in, but he's still knocking around.
Roxham.
Back
was
round
good,
to
that.
Sam.
Yeah.
Leeds, MK Dons, Chester.
Ooh. Leeds.
Wroxham is in Norfolk, Steve says in the comments.
Oh, there you go then. So that's the Norwich connection.
Yeah.
What was it again, Harry? Leeds.
Leeds, MK Dons, Chester.
I think I might have an answer.
I don't know. Can't
Go on
think.
then. Go on then, Rouse.
Is it Jamie Clapham?
No.
Oh,
But that is a really good guess, I must say, looking at the answer.
Who was
The
last?
same-
Who was last team?
Chester.
Chester, Leeds, MK Dons.
Want a clue?
Yeah.
He was a centre half around the early 2000s era. For Wolves. If I gave you one clue,
Paul Butler.
Yeah,
Was it Paul Butler?
yeah. I was going to give the clue. Bailey's had one, but I thought you'd get it. 2 more to go. It is Michael Burge in the comments got it. Paul Butler. Who am I round to now? Rouse. I think you'll get this one quite quick, actually. Hales Owen, Bearwell, Warsaw Wood.
Oh, is it? It's Ebanks Blake, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, well done. And
Very
last
good.
one for you, Jack.
Never used to play subs.
Yeah, because he had a broken leg, didn't he? He was suing the surgeon. Jack, Rotherham, Oxford, Wrexham.
Did I not say this the other day? I didn't know blah 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 was playing for Wrexham. Did I? I swear I made a comment about this. Is this recent? I might have seen.
Already?
I think I saw it on the documentary. I can't remember who it
may
was.
or may not have scored for Wrexham last night.
I didn't see it last night. I
That's
saw they
my
won
clue.
3-0.
He scored for Leicester last night.
I saw they won
Former Wolves
3-0,
player.
but God, who was it? I said I didn't realise they were playing for Wrexham. I put that in the group a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I heard
remember
that,
who it was.
and I can remember listening to the radio and going, "Oh my god, he's there!" Never, I can't remember who
Yeah,
it is.
I was shocked. I saw it today. That's why I added it in. I was like,
It's not
bloody
Michael
hell.
Linden, is it?
No,
Oh, is it? It's not Joe Mason, is it?
no.
No. I should know this. I've watched the bloody programme.
He played for us under McCarthy.
Oh,
He's a
I was going to say
young
Brooks,
whippersnapper.
but it's not.
If I
What's
give
the
you
clue?
this clue, do you want me to give you a clue that gives it you?
Yeah.
Mm,
He made his debut away at Arsenal under McCarthy on the wing. And everyone was like, what is going on?
Oh, Anthony Ford.
Yes, there we
Yeah.
go. He's a left back, left winger, and I think he plays left wing for Wrexham. I could be wrong. But he scored from last night. Bit of a throwback name.
Did he not
innit?
go to went to Warsaw, didn't he?
Yeah, he was Warsaw
Yeah.
after us. Then he went Rotherham, Oxford. Now he's at Wrexham.
Okay.
Hey, that is another great quiz from Harry, and I have to say, a very good performance by everybody on the panel.
Yes.
So I think we've all done a very good job. Also, the comments didn't help us out, which is very, very rare. So we will say goodbye to Harry Mansell,
Yes, goodbye, everyone.
Jack Williams,
Goodbye, everybody.
Tom Rouse,
bye bye.
and it is a goodbye from me. Goodbye.